Live on stage, the sound
of Orlando.
So, is they ready?
Yes.
The sound
of Orlando.
You know?
Yo, what is going on, party people? What is going on? We're back for another episode. This is the Sound of Orlando show. I am your brother Rome, and I want to say shouts out to all the people that have been supporting. Want to say shouts out to all the people that have been supporting, man. This is all about you guys. This is your voice. This is about your city. And what we are trying to do is bring hip-hop culture in the city so that you can get to know these people from a real space, a real understanding. These people have been doing their thing, whether they're from here, whether they're from abroad. They've been doing their thing from the beginning. And, this thing of ours called hip-hop, man, is special. For a lot of people, this is all we got. We speak it, we live it. There's so many ways that people have made this their entire lives, and we gotta big that up, man, because that is important when we're talking about the sound. And part of that sound is getting to know these artists from a different perspective. This is what the show brings. I also want to say a big shout out to all the people from the motherland in Africa. We're in Africa and people are supporting what we're doing. They love what we're doing out here. So shout out to Kenya, shout out to South Africa, shout out to Nigeria. Everyone is in tune to what we're trying to bring to the table. This ain't no regular show or podcast or whatever. This is real life. This is what we're dealing with when it comes to this thing of ours. And man, it's just an honor and privilege to deal with the kind of people that come on the show. Tonight is no different. We have a legend representing California, Carson, LA. This brother has been doing his thing for over 2 decades. And the quality, he has never spared. The lyrics, he's never spared. One of the hardest MCs to probably ever do it in the game. And he's continuing to evolve. He's continuing to bring us so many dope classics. He's done records with, all the giants in the industry. Where can I begin other than one of my favorites that, I just used to play and rock out nonstop, which was Soul on Ice. And I just, that record was so profound at the time. And, a lot of our MCs, they damn near prophets, because when they're talking about what's going on currently and then what's going on, what could possibly go on in the future, this brother couldn't have been more spot on. He was right on the money. Soul on Ice is still, showing its ugly head, if you will, in the world today. So, it's my pleasure, it's my honor to give it up for one of my brothers that from another mother that's been doing his thing, man. Give it up for the legendary, the one and only, the mad MC on the microphone, my man, Kass. Let's go.
What's going on?
Man, what's going on, my brother?
Welcome. Oh, man, everything's good, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Man, it's an honor and privilege, man, to have you on tonight. Like I told you before the show started, I can't tell my story without telling yours. And as a DJ, it was just, you felt like, you were just special to be able to rock a Kass record, because you knew you were going to get some bars, you were going to get some production, you were going to get some insight, some knowledge. And it was just, for a lot of us hip hoppers, man, it's very difficult to see where music is sometimes and not have it. Like, those words should be on mainstream radio just cause. But, a lot of times we look at hip hop and we don't appreciate all of the soldiers in there putting everything on the line to do what they do and say what they're saying. And I put you up there, especially with the message of what you've been bringing up there with a damn Public Enemy, X Clan, with your message. Lyricism, I mean, you're up there with the greats just anyway, but enough fawning. Let's hear your story. Let's hear your story and get an idea of how you started in the game, coming from California, and how was that like? Because your sound is unique to your own, especially in a state in which it's easy to sound. It's easy to kind of go with everyone else. You said, fuck that. I'm doing my own shit. And so talk about that.
I was lucky. I got my opportunity, but technically my second opportunity after some brothers had already kind of started paving the way from on a signed level. So by the time I got my second opportunity for a record deal, High Road came out, Dale, Far Side, even the Licks had dropped, and some of those were my friends. Some were just people I looked up to, and I was able to kind of see. Wow. I just read the comment from one of the brothers. It's like the stupidest fucking thing ever. I'll respond to that afterwards. That was some real cool shit, whoever that was. That's corny. And this is live. That's why it's like fucking, it's just studio. And I had to make it dark. But whatever. Right. What's wrong with that anyway, you bitch ass nigga? That was weird.
What's wrong with that? Let's go.
Right. But anyway, that was... that just fucking threw me off. Anyway, I love that show. Anyway, so for me, Freestyle Fellowship, there was already an underground in LA that was burgeoning. People were getting deals, and I was already developing who I wanted to project, which was basically just me, and I had people that supported me. So my demo, that was probably 92-ish, 3-ish. Right. That's when I was supposed to first come out, like about 93. That's when I had my first opportunity for a deal. So just to keep a long story short, DJ Battlecat kind of discovered me. Pretty much, me and my friend Bird, and cultivated us and put me on like my first vinyl. I was on my first record with Battlecat.
Shout out to Battlecat too.
Yes. Yeah, so he's always been a big brother. And then DJ Wino, who produced all the Coolio stuff. So I already, my big homies were already, Wino had just maybe did Ghetto Jam. By the time I was back around. I went to Juvenile Hall and all that shit, hence the whole Solo Nights and everything. But yeah, my demos and all that, like my sound was my sound because I would record shop and find my own records, and then find loops, and then I would bring them to my homies. Right. And so and Battlecat and Wino were nice enough and believed in me enough to. And I was a headache in the studio. Because I had my own ideas.
Right. No, but you know what? That's dope, because for a lot of artists, it's difficult to kind of even have that kind of insight on what you want to sound. I mean, a lot of people say they want their own sound, but they don't know how to express it or tell a person. So that shit right there,
they tried and errored with me, and I damn sure didn't have the money. They those were people that believed in me, and then I was putting my money where my mouth was, but to pay consistent studio, they just let me go over there and would spend that time with me to kind of come up with my ideas. Sometimes we hit, sometimes it wasn't on the mark, but when we hit, we made really fire shit, and it kind of challenged them too. To this
Right.
day, all my homeboys always say like, you make me come outside my comfort zone, and because you are who you are, I'm like too East Coast to be West Coast, too West Coast to be East Coast, too gangster to be
Right.
smart, too smart to be gangster. I don't fit into the box. I am everything. I am, and I'm.
Right.
It's not me trying to be something. It's just who I am. Uh,
Right.
and it would, it would make my homeboys adjust, and then I adjusted too, working with them, and we came out with something. And then the credit also, my sensibilities grew with my homeboy Bird, who we did solo nights majority together. So me and Bird kind of had the same ear because we started the journey together, and then Battle Cat and Wino cultivated that, and
Right.
it was
Well,
awesome, man. I already knew who I was. I knew who I was before I was Razzcast.
right.
Um, like even what I wanted to talk about, how I felt. All I ever did was really vent. I didn't really have no rap style. I was a big fan of KRS One and Rakim, and Biggie and Nas, and Tupac and Ice Cube, and what I'm saying, and Scarface. So all those things are obviously Redman, whoever the fuck, Wu-Tang, all those things, Black Moon, all those people I studied. I was a fan of all of them. It's just my delivery is probably more in tune with the fact that I wrote more like I was writing reports.
Right.
So I really wrote, when I wrote my raps, I kind of wrote them grammatically correct. So I pronunciate all the words. There's a comma, a period, a question mark. And so that it wasn't really a style per se. I was just kind of venting these thoughts.
Right.
And that informed my delivery, just like, for example, Pharaoh Monch, or Pharaoh now. Pharaoh was born with not emphysema, I'm sorry.
Asthma.
Asthma. And so his breathing pattern, he couldn't go that long without having to take a breath, but it changed how he delivered, because he'd have to say that this shit really dope and then take these weird breaths. And those breaths are timing that create styles.
Right.
So he's informed. He doesn't have that problem now, but it informed his delivery, just his
Right.
circumstances. So how I wrote grammatically correct informed how I delivered my rhymes.
Right. You touched on a couple things. What was it like? Because I know how it was just growing up in Florida, and the vibration that was, of listening to maybe stuff from, the East Coast or the West Coast, as well as the stuff that we grew up on in the South, and how people may have tried to your point, box you in and say, well, God, what you ain't from there, What was that like being in Cali, listening to Duck Down, or, listening to, like you said, the rock hymns and stuff like that? Because, and then you doing what you're doing, because like you said earlier, the Far Sides, the Freestyle Fellowships, the Dales.
Honestly, because that shit was a facade and a lie that got made up. So you got to, like, first of all, in LA, and we were the kids sneaking in, me and my homeboy Dags, whatever. Like, hip hop is what brought a lot of the kids that, like, probably from, if you were like born in 70 to like 77, that was our clique of kids. But maybe 79-ish, whatever. So
Right.
some of us was 13, some was 15, some was 17, whatever. We were sneaking into 21 clubs. There was something called Water in the Bush, and there was another one, and those were 21 clubs, and we were nowhere close to 21. And they were the hip hop clubs, and you would see Ice-T, and you see Grandmaster Kass, and you would see just all the dope like rap people,
right,
whatever in the club. chilling. They threw those clubs, and we wanted to go because the music, the culture, we love the culture. So I was like 13, acting like I was 15, going to that club. I mean, acting shit. I was 13, acting like I was 15, but trying to get in a 21-year-old club. And sometimes we did, sometimes we didn't. So me and my friends were already in that environment, and that environment still had gangsters, it had cholos, it had a rock nigga, it had, you know what I'm saying, it was punk rock, like it was different. There was no informed, and even in LA, like, dude, rap started and it was only New York niggas that basically made it. So those I grew up in Watts, those gang members listen to the Bataram and Toddy T.
Right.
And at the same time was banging EPMD and Rakim and all that shit. There was no this the East Coast shit, this the West Coast shit.
Right.
Then with the success of certain people, labels started, once they realized that everybody didn't sound the same, and they knew they could market gangster rap, and it kind of would sell immediately, gangster rap, and it was a whole fucking state where you could box it in and sell that.
Right.
We made that separation because some of us didn't technically fit the part. Right. And what's really funny is that Freestyle Fellowship, them niggas was gang members. See, the music saved us. Right. A lot of my friends, the people I hung out with, were gang members. But then we started falling in love with the music. So some went into tagging, some people went into break, dancing, housing is what we called it, and some rap. And that's how we got to know each other, battling, and then niggas would become friends. That's how some of the black niggas got in the Mexican hoods, whatever, Crips and Bloods. So the rap, the culture is what got niggas in LA to get to know each other, because you was out of bounds, and 9 times out of 10, that was your enemy. And a lot of niggas just didn't fuck with each other unless you had a cousin over there or something like that.
Right.
And so that was even before us. That wasn't a process that we were the first ones to. So all the gangster rappers, they were going through the same shit. They understood that it was half the gangster niggas was really hip hop heads, and half the hip hop heads was gang members. Like, there was no differentiation. They just would like, some niggas started dressing the part, like, oh, you with the housing shit. Like, oh, you like the housing shit if you dressed a little bit like trendy, is what the homies would call it.
Right.
Trendy now, like, but nigga could still be a gang member. Don't get it fucked up. He just liked that style. You know? Or the gang nigga could be, that was dressed in your stereotype. He could be the nigga with the lyrics. Trey D's a prime example of that.
Right. Shout out to Trey D. Yep.
Yeah. So it was such a mesh. There was no separation until the industry tried to divide it up. Some of the rappers started claiming that shit too. I'm the gangster and y'all the other ones. And I never bought into that because it was a lie. It was a lie in the streets. It became a reality in the music industry. But there's pretty much nobody born here that's not from somewhere. If you're born here, you already affiliated by birth where you grew up at. It's kind of like that skit that Kendrick did on the first album, where the nigga say, like, where you from? Well, where your mama from? Where your grandmama from? You from somewhere, nigga. If you're born and raised here, you are already guilty by association, period. So everybody, trust me, any LA person got to tell. They're going to say Holmes. That's probably been around a lot of Mexicans. You grew up in a Mexican hood.
Right.
If you say, like, oh, dog, probably grew up in a blood neighborhood. If you be like, oh, shit, low, like, whatever. We all got to tell, because your tell, it informs where you grew up at, just what your slang sounds like.
Right. Shout out to the word dog, because dog, I used to, growing up, I used to think that was just exclusively for the South, because that's what we called everybody. Yo, what's up, dog? What's up, dog? What's up, dog? Like, you couldn't walk two seconds down any street without somebody saying, what up, dog? In fact, one of our favorite songs that, growing up was called Creek Dog. We had a dance with that and everything. Like, so shout outs to the dog reference, because we're still using it today like we do Word and Fresh. And so that just tells you the
homie was the most generic thing you could do that applied to everybody. Like, oh, that's the homie.
Right.
Eventually people, their tail comes out. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? When people refer to their family members, like my blood family they're gonna be like, oh, that's my relative. So it informs the ear, like, oh, he won't say cousin.
Right. That part.
So we have those tales. It's natural. And again, back to what you were saying, we didn't have. That's an industry thing. That whole uh, what the rappers said as opposed to what the hip hopper said as opposed to what the gang members said. That was made up, bro. It really
Right.
was. And
Well, and I'm glad you said that, because when we're talking about this thing of ours called hip hop, that's been the fight the whole time, right? It's been ours. This is ours, and we're watching people that had no kind of fucking influence on it, no ownership of it, take it, and then it's kind of like that old Debo shit. I'm gonna steal it and sell it back to you.
Right.
And a lot of people fall for that okie doke and say, you know what, yeah, you're right. Let me go ahead and buy that back. And we always buy it back, malfunctioned. It's like buying Radio Shack shit after they put their hands on it.
Yeah, we have to stop. I had when you sign to a major label, you have your A&R, and he's the artist repertoire. He's your relationship between you. You're the artist. He's in the middle between you and the record label. So they'll say things to him that they're not going to say to you. And I would always tell my A&Rs, man, like, because back then it would be the black kid. So you had the executive who was the, I don't want to racialize this, but it's kind of true. The exec was the white guy.
Just tell your story, brother. Tell
no,
it.
I mean, shit, trust me, I don't have no problem telling the truth. But so the exec tended to be the white guy, and he's, older dude, maybe a lawyer, whatever, he likes hockey and whatever. But his opinion shouldn't, he should be smart enough to know to invest money where there's talent, and then let talent do what it does. If I'm rich and I want to invest in coffee, let me get the best, coffee bean grower and all that. I'm not going to start telling them how to raise their beans. I don't know shit about it. I just know I got some bread and I want in. And what happened was these labels, these executives started thinking they knew everything, and they would tell the A&R, and then the A&R started parroting. That's what I called it, like a little fucking a parrot on, what I'm saying? Parrots start repeating.
Right.
So they would parrot that shit, and then they start telling the artists, and eventually some of those artists started parroting the same thing. So that whole gangster rap, we the gangsters and y'all the other ones, I observed that really being a brand that execs made, that A&R started saying, and then some niggas got some success and started parroting. There's a lot of examples of that. The term hot, that don't even sound like something niggas would say, like, oh, she's hot. That sounds like some white boy shit. She's fucking hot, man. So they started saying, oh, that record's so hot, because shit was either dope, fresh, bad, whatever the fuck you wanted to call it, ill. Right. So to explain a record that was aesthetically whack, that they were trying to make a success, it became hot. But it's still hot. The record's hot. It's all over the radio. Nigga, that don't make it good. Ice Baby is all over the radio, my nigga, but he's trash. I don't dislike him as a person, but whatever. Vanilla Ice shit was whack. His outfits was whack. He's bullshit. Now it's hot. So that
talk your shit, Raz. Talk your shit.
It's real shit. So niggas started repeating what they master told them to say, and it shit travels downhill, man. So it was the master to the house nigga, and then even the field niggas started repeating that shit. Oh, it's hot. It's hot. Like, nigga, that shit whack, my nigga. That shit trash, bro. And the white boys is telling you to push this shit because they're gonna put some money behind it. And the odds are, and that's what really happened in our business at this point, is that they've convinced you that quality music is not good, and that this bullshit that has no substance, that means nothing, that it is the hot shit. That's what you want to be on. And that's unfortunate at the end of the day. Really simply, I always just make a very, and this is how what they're about. A business especially the music business at this point, is not about creativity. And not to say that it ever really was, but especially when it comes to black music, they have purposely uh, eroded anything with substance.
Right.
And
Um,
so, yeah, go ahead.
I love what you're saying. I knew we were gonna go there because this is what I gathered from your career. When I listened to the things that you were saying, even as a youth, um, you know, we forget sometimes the amount of courage that it takes. We don't appreciate the amount of courage that it takes to tell somebody the truth. The truth is ugly, and sometimes it hurts. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means that, not opinion, truth. When you're talking about why these people aren't playing the likes of yourself and others, I was talking to Brother Jay from X Clan, and Brother Jay was saying something similar to that. He said there's a lot of people that regret their careers because they contributed to the madness. They talked about things that hurt not only their communities, maybe there was, a lot of just fucked up shit behind what they were saying and contributing to. And, they can't at no point in their lives say, or hear, you saved my life, man. I was going into that gun, drug shit, gang shit, and I heard your music, and your music saved my life because I started thinking differently. And you were talking about the corporate person, i.e., maybe the white boy, coming in and saying, "Okay, this is how we need to sell your product." I'm an example that in Bleach. We know what the fuck Bleach does. Bleach technically doesn't even need no marketing. Bleach is Bleach,
Right.
But yet there's this idea of, okay, if it's Clorox, this bleach works, or if it's Dollar General bleach, that works. And they make people who probably didn't care about the information have to choose a side.
Right.
And based on the people that, were on the side more than the other, that's what everybody flocks to. So it's the first person to create Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's still chicken, but it's Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Right.
It's still bleach, but it's Clorox.
Right.
And so they turn our shit into that instead of allowing the market, which we're supposed to be living in a capitalist society, where the market's open.
Yeah,
it's a free market, so there shouldn't be. In theory, right? No, in theory, with their arguments, they will shut down anything non-white that has even an opportunity to fuck with their market. But anything white, sometimes they tend to say, okay, well, boom, hold up, ain't no monopolies here unless we're somehow benefiting from that.
Right.
But if we, as a people, as a music, hip hop was our monopoly. Hip hop was our monopoly.
Yeah, but we had, so they asked me this 25 years ago when I was a kid, and I said that it was like, about how do I feel? People still ask, oh, the state of hip hop. I was like, look, bro, it's been whack shit from the beginning. It's been dope shit. And I said, we have never owned it. This shit, niggas was making their records on disco labels. So we never owned it. We've never had ownership. And I said, before that, we made jazz music. Oh, and I didn't know nothing about music. I don't come from a musical family at all, period.
Right.
My learning of music is through hip hop. Going to buy records is how I learned about jazz. I didn't have my mama's a Creole and my dad's a fucking police officer Marine. Didn't listen to music in my house like that. And if it did, my mom was listening to some gospel or some opera shit. They didn't fucking know music, bro. So I learned all this shit just because hip hop. When I heard Rakim or Kass One, and I'm like, that shit dope. And then I found the original record, like, oh shit, this is a rock record, or this is a jazz record, or this is house music, and the house music come from the fucking disco, and this is niggas in Chicago. Like, that's what taught me the history of music.
Right.
I thought rock and roll was white people shit, and so with being understanding that, I was like, bro, we gonna lose this shit too. If we don't own it, they'll take it, and that's what they did. And they replaced all the talented people for the most part with the coonery. And they made it easy enough that anybody could do it. That's what's fucked up.
Dave,
just hear me out.
Okay.
This is an art form that's called rap, and the worst thing you can do rap anymore is rap good. They'll call you over lyrical. I can't understand it. You can't do that race in a car. Like if you're the worst racer, like we need to see so we can see what you do. Or a guitar player, if you don't get up there and shred, or if LeBron got out there and couldn't dribble, like come on, it's the only fucking job where being bad at it might be a plus.
Do you hear that, fucking Orlando? Do you hear that, Florida? Do you hear that, people? Do you hear that, Nigeria, Kenya, Africa? Do you hear that? Like, yo, the man just said hip hop is its requisite is, are you bad? Awesome. But these are not our decisions. These aren't the people that are in power are the ones that are creating this, and they have zero, if any, to do with hip hop.
Yeah, but we allowed them to train our kids and train our women and to reward the monkeys. And now their ear is trained that if it don't sound good on TikTok and they can't do stupid shit to it, that it's not good. We did. And every once in a while they let one or two slip through the cracks. So it's
let me tell you something, bro. You were on Capitol fucking Records.
Mm-hmm. And they tried to kill me for 10 years.
Right. But to be fair to idiots, to be fair to cooning, you decided, which there once again, I'll say this till the time ends on the planet. We need our own hip hop Hall of Fame, because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is never going to acknowledge the sacrifices people like yourself and others that have been committed to our culture, taking the brunt. No one in their fucking right mind would have done what you did if they were money oriented.
Yeah, I mean,
because you said right. You said no, fuck that, fuck the money.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made a decision. I don't regret the decision.
Hell no, bro. Because that music would never happen if you even contemplated on doing it.
Right.
But here's another IE. Kendrick Lamar. He comes out with, Mad City on his first album, and he could have fucking just said, all right, I'm gonna just ride that way. Instead, that nigga said, representing Compton, to Pimp a Butterfly.
Right.
The first fucking record on his album was Black of the Berry, which is probably one of my favorite records of all fucking time. He could have said the same thing, right? Like, no, man, let me get this money. I got to secure my family. But he was thinking about his people as a whole. Mm-hmm. When you did what you did, you didn't just think of your family. You thought about your people as a whole. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know you, but nobody in their fucking right mind could hear what you did and not get that from you. I'm just telling you, like, I heard Soul on Ice should be in the Smithsonian for prophetic use of lyrics. This nigga was calling out everything, and it happened. And it's still happening. And so for the lyricists that are out there that push the bar further, that say, I don't care if I don't sell another record. This is about what hip hop intentionally was supposed to be. Was we're poor, and this is our goal. And really, I'm just from the school, and I heard what you said, but I disagree. There's nothing they could do to stop that. This is God shit right here. What we do, hip hop, is God shit. There ain't nobody messing with God's plan. This is the voice of the poor.
Well,
It's always been that way.
There are some heroes. I just did a song for my homeboy Neff, and it's called Roses Now. And I wrote the song after I think Fife died. Cause I wrote it a while ago, and he's just putting it out. But you know, I look at people like Doom, you know, MF Doom, and then all of a sudden people want to show love. But you know, brother, could have had more support. Even Fife, like, or maybe I wrote. I love this show. Good looking. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Lakeem. I think it was Lakeem.
Yeah, my man Strange. Shout out to my man Strange. He's on the check.
Yeah, man. Honestly, like it's, you know, everybody, it's easy to remember J. Cole or
Right.
Tupac or, you know, but everybody don't know about Poor Righteous Teachers. So what about all of you know, a lot of people don't get their roses, bro. And so and when all the credit's given, unfortunately, sometimes there's like 5 people that get the credit for the other 400, and that's fucked up. One of the coolest things I saw was when Chappelle was getting that award. He's in the car and he said it. He acknowledged that in the car. He was like sitting next. I forgot who he was sitting next to, but he was like, so many other people have so many other deserving people, and I don't hear that spoken. I've watched, you know, top 5, top 20, top 100 lists, and I amongst many am not in it. And then they mention the niggas that don't write their rhymes. And then your average person, again, they're consumers, so they may not be a student of this game like you. But it's crazy for people to be able to mention, you know, the Kendricks or the Eminems or the Royce 5'9s and then not say Raz Kass. You understand what I'm saying? So this shit is not.
But it has to be. It has to be put in its proper place.
Yeah,
but it has to be put in its proper place. You can't just
we don't own it. That's my problem.
Well, why do we not own it? Because we're not talking to each other. This is probably for me, and I didn't even, and I'm not even claiming that I was that smart, because that's just above my pay grade. But doing this show, I've realized how much we're not talking. There's plenty of niggas that have died and are going to take all of their shit to the grave with them. They've only told their people. That's it. They're from the school of, I don't talk to strangers. I don't talk to these people, because the world is hard on us. We've been burned a million times. We feel like, man, who do we talk to about these things? You just said something that was so important, and all the more reason why we should have our own. We're going on 50 years now,
right?
Our own hip hop Hall of Fame, not museum, Hall of Fame, and it should be ran by people that were at the very fucking beginning, if not at least close to it. So I ain't trying to hear anybody, you know, talking about, hey, you know, this record company needs to be on a panel. No, fuck all that shit. Unless your ass is part of Def Jam, Sleeping Bag Records, Sugar Hill Records, and you have some skin in the game, then you have no judgment on who's a good lyricist or not. A top 5 is impossible. Okay, the top 5 is not public; it's private. Your top 5 is going to be different from my top 5. Right. But we made it public because we made it. These corporate people, like you said, they're in the business of reductions, turning us into a gravy. Right. Not realizing that there's a whole meal of stuff. Like, we're not feeding our people the entire meal. We're feeding them a reduction, a dehydrated portion of the meal. Just fucking add water and it'll fit your shit too. Like, that's not hip hop. It's never been fucking hip hop.
Right.
So I'm just saying that, you know, and I know I'm kind of going long-winded here, but I'm telling you, I get it. There's a lot of people out here that are not getting their due simply because we as a community, as a hip-hop community, and money is at fault. These influencers, people that are sitting there fucking in each other's ear, everybody's ear, like you're saying, parroting, all this fuck shit that's stopping us from communicating to one another. That's why I love what you did. I reached out to you. You fucking reached back. We have to go through a third party. And you're on this fucking show. And we're talking like two human beings. I think that's fucking beautiful. So with that said, my brother, continue with the fucking story. Let's go.
Oh no, that's it. I mean, you nailed it. We have a difference of agreement on how this movie plays out again, because we made rock and roll. I didn't know we made it. We made jazz. We made country western, and this is why I put it. I read the books, and then I put them in rhymes because I knew people didn't want to read. That's kind of why I did Nature of the Threat. I did it for myself to understand chronologically the history, the evolution of human beings, period, and when we became Puerto Ricans or when we became Native Americans, European, whatever the fuck that evolution was. But in general, you know, we don't have the concern to know the culture. I hope that some of these young bros get it. Some of these, you know, and I don't expect a 19, 20-year-old dude. Everybody's not going to be Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's not going to have that wherewithal to write Brenda's Got a Baby at that age. You know what I'm saying? Some people just where they at. You know what I'm saying? Trappy, trap. I get it. Got to get some money. The girl got a fat ass. I totally get it. Yeah, we all want a Gucci belt and a fucking Maserati, whatever the fuck the new car is. I totally understand that. So I understand people being where they are. We lost balance in our culture. You know, there was a time where Ice Cube could exist at the same time as Biz Markie, at the same time as Rakim, at the same time as you know, Ghetto Boys, like at the same time as MC Shadi. Fucked you up on that. I went to Miami.
Yeah, you know? Shout out to Shadi, man. You already know.
So that we don't have balance. They just give us the cupcake. If Trappy Trap and super, you know, fantastical, I know Pablo rap, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all we get. We just get the cupcake every day. Niggas is not getting no steak, no potatoes. Like you said, reduction. I totally agree with you on that. I just don't necessarily agree that, I mean, hip hop is a culmination of everything before it. And maybe they'll steal this shit too. Eminem would be the greatest rapper ever, and that'll be that. And then you know, maybe after they beat our ass because niggas ain't learned nothing 30 years from now, we'll make some new shit. I don't know. I've always said that. I said that in my demo. Hip hop must evolve to survive. Hip hop must evolve to survive. Something in rap dies. I think I'm saying go backwards and rap dies. And I don't see that happening at the rate of I don't see evolution happening as much as I personally see the evolution. I see that rockers, dude, it was crazy. I randomly popped up on my YouTube and I saw shit was from the 80s, and it was like the nigga that Les Dance. What's that guy?
David Bowie.
David Bowie banging on the MTV nigga because they didn't play no black artists on MTV.
Oh yeah. That's a viral video. Right. I remember at the time seeing it on MTV.
I don't remember that, but what's crazy is that we're still there. Like that's what we still are. And before that, we've been. So imagine, you know, I've seen some other ones with other people saying, like, you know, crediting all, you know, the Muddy Waters and all of them. We'll make the contributions, create the culture, get it stolen. Our own people are turning their backs on the poor righteous teachers. And you understand what I'm saying?
And shout
So-
out and shout out to him, because I got shout out to Poor Righteous Teachers, man.
Yeah.
I have them coming on next month.
And
Yeah.
it's okay to like what you like, but at least you got to hear it all to make an informed choice. We're not giving that to the youth, and all they hear is the one thing. They keep hearing cupcake. It's like McDonald's has more advertising, and nobody's saying. I saw what you wrote, like him. This is not mainstream. I'm just talking about in the populace period. We have uninformed people. Our culture is uninformed, and if you really want the truth, hip hop is dead in America. Niggas don't support it,
Yeah.
and so for most of your favorite rappers, our careers are in Europe. It's sad. Our career is going into Africa. Hip hop's alive in Africa. Hip hop is alive in France. Hip hop is alive in Germany. Hip hop is alive in Canada. It is dead here because niggas is too busy fucking trying to do dances like they're a 13-year-old girl. And that and that's where we are. And that's why, like, I mean, I'm never gonna give up on the culture. I just have to understand that geographically, what the fuck is going on here in my country. I feel like information is dead with niggas. Niggas don't want to learn shit. And I've been, bro, the only thing I should have, you know what my album should have been called? Anything I Make, I Told You So, nigga, 25 years ago.
Right.
That should
Right.
be every song I make.
Right.
Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all 25 years ago, you bitch ass niggas. You sucking on these whack ass niggas and ass kissing your rapists. And I told you it was going to happen. It should be all my songs from here on.
I love that, bro. I love that, brother. And what a great segue, because I want you to talk about the 100-pound elephant in the room, which is Soul on Ice, and what you were thinking when you wrote that.
It's not an elephant. I mean, I embrace it every day. Honestly, Soul on Ice is just the culmination of my thoughts. I was conflicted. It's about my mother bought me the book when I was in juvenile hall, and I really liked what Eldridge Cleaver, he was analyzing his higher and lower self. It's not a linear book. It's kind of like these short essays about things he did, or experienced. So some things were happy, some were sad, some were conflicted. So it was a little bit more about Descartes, the duality of man. Let me take y'all to psychology class. So
please.
The duality of man, your higher self and your lower self. So your higher self is like, hey man, I should get it, I should work hard and do the right thing. Your lower self is like, I don't know. I could kind of hustle this shit right here, and I could fuck this bitch and my wife won't know. That is you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's go.
That's what I was dealing with. So that's what Soul on Ice is being conflicted. And then so that's all humans, but now we have people of color, we have an additional thing called racism, white supremacy that affects every aspect of our life, trying to kill us, shoots us, miseducates us, doesn't feed us real food, physically kills us,
lab rats us,
misteaches us any kind of information about history, period. Although it misinforms its own people, it lies to them to tell them that they did shit they didn't do that was awesome. And then so they have a unhealthy sense of self about what they think they did, that they didn't contribute to society. And meanwhile, they teach us that we did nothing, which is that's even worse, to have a totally unhealthy sense of self that you never done anything. And these people gave you every opportunity ever. And that your God that was in Africa is some white guy, all kind of really ridiculous shit. So that's the problem. We have a compound trauma as people of color, specifically any form of black, whether that's a Dominican, Puerto Rican, all of us niggas running around America with German names, Russian names, Italian names. They're Irish names, McKinley, whatever your name is. Billy Jenkins, nigga, your tribe wasn't the Jenkins wherever you was from in Africa. So that's the thing. We are doubly traumatized more than everybody else. And it's about dealing with that. So being a regular human being with all your idiosyncrasies already built in, your lust, your likes, your wants, your needs, and then also having to deal with that compounded by the trauma of how that's affected your family uh, with white supremacy. And so, yeah, that's the album, man. I just talked about who I was, what I thought of myself, very self-analytical, and then outwardly analytical. I mean, my whole thing was to talk about myself. Like, I didn't. I did self-deprecation before Eminem. That's what it was about. Talk about, like, I'm an asshole. I do fucked up shit. I do selfish shit. I did that. So, and sometimes I would do it and make it sarcasm. You know, that's just the writer I am. That's my personality. So that's what, that was what the album's about. But every album for me is about that. I'm really just expressing myself. And that was a time capsule about, who I was up until that point. And every record since has been the same thing. I would tell people, in real time, I wish, just because I wasn't on a major didn't mean I didn't create. I've always created because it's my therapist. And so I've made many powerful records since then. So I appreciate the people that care about Solo Nights. But for me, Interview with the Vampire is it's a different kind of important record.
Right. That album is dope.
Yeah. Roots of Evil. I say very important things. Fuck, me and Apollo Brown, the Blasphemy album is a very important album. It's just that out of sight, out of mind, and again, that goes into mainstream or people, not even mainstream, just there's so many things competing for our attention. We all walk around with a billboard on. Look at me, I'm billboarding. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I look at this shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like we're so distracted with so much vying for our attention. I understand when things get missed, but what I always say is I'm gonna make it until I die. I'm gonna create this content because it's part of my therapy. Hopefully, I'm gonna say something that's worthwhile, and in present time, I'm gonna continue to do that. Catch it when you catch it. Niggas ain't. Keith Murray had told me that 20 years ago. He's like, you 20 years ahead of your time, Raz. And that was coming from Keith Murray. So
shout out to Keith Murray, man.
Niggas have figured me out, I don't know, 20, 30 years after I die or something. Who knows?
We love what you're doing. And like I said, I mean, it's amazing. Sometimes you don't realize all the people you touch in this world and the impact you have on them.
I'm blessed. I'm totally blessed. I'm just saying, it's so many talented brothers and sisters and people fighting a good fight. I just happen to be, I'm particularly in my skin, so I understand my journey much more than others. But I just wish we were, in a bigger picture. I wish the hip hop community, I had a lot more. Thank you, Eric. I wish the community in the States, I wish the ones that are supporting, be proactive and support. It's just, it's hard to get some because they've been trained that the coonery is the only, and it's hard to show them that rap is called rap for a reason. It's not called sing along and make chime. It's not called singing. It's called rap.
Right.
So we have to untrain fucking 2 generations now, because ever since about 2000, they got trained that, it's 2020. It's 2 generations. 10 niggas that's 19 that just came out when Wayne came out.
Right.
I mean, and that's all they know. They never went backwards in research. When I fell in love with rap, it was already existing. And I went backwards because I was like, I like this shit. And now I want to know what makes it tick. And most people, when they like something, when they like golfing, then they like go backwards. Like, oh shit, I like Serena or whatever. They go backwards like, oh, who's the first woman? Who's the first this or whatever? Niggas with this rap shit, they don't give a fuck a lot of times. Because that's kind of what's been promoted. Is to say fuck the old shit and fuck the old niggas and fuck the past and all I care about is me right now. Like, and so we have the execs did it. It ain't relevant. They started saying that. Then the rap niggas started saying it. Then the crowd started saying it. We have trained them to be fucking morons. And I'll take responsibility because I'm part of this culture, but I didn't do it specifically. But niggas will sit around and parade around a fucking idiot like Kanye. And meanwhile, there's 50 other people that deserve your time and energy because we reward whatever is successful by standards of what American white people tell us. Whoever you see on the award show, whoever you see in that kind of car in the video is who you think is good. We lost it somewhere. You got to understand this, and I always say this to people. America has not had our best our best interests ever as people of color. So why would America pick winners for us that had our best interests at heart? If it's not organically grown, it probably ain't in our best interest. Khalid Abdul Muhammad said it better. He said, if a man won't treat you right, what makes you think he would teach you right?
Right. And I love what you just said, man, because at the end of the day, once again, and I have to say this conversation has to be scaled on multiple platforms, meaning all of our people need to start talking to each other. In the absence of understanding and wisdom, there's foolishness, right? So when people don't get to talk to one another, but they talk at each other, like, right. I'm telling you how much money I got. I'm telling you how much cash I got. I'm telling you you ain't shit. And talking past you, meaning I don't even see you. I don't even acknowledge that you even had an existence here. Meaning I'm saying, hey, what do you mean there's 40 years of this? So all I give a fuck about is, they weren't playing on my YouTube channel. So all of these ideas of communication, we have to be able to talk to, teach these youths in a way, and that segues me into my next question for you. What do you feel is the best alternative or the best way to reach our nephews, our kids, the little young bucks that are taking the torch? Because there is a divide, like you just said. There is this idea of growing up in technology and not being able to find the languages to speak with each other anymore. What do you think moving forward can allow us to make that gap at least smaller? We may not eliminate it entirely, but we are living right now. What can we do to talk to these young people?
I think listening is sometimes just to listen. So when I see some young bros, like I went to the studio. I was in Phoenix a couple of days ago in Arizona. I didn't necessarily love everything they was doing, but the young brothers doing their music, and I had some drink, and I came and broke bread and just have a drink. You know what I'm saying? Showed them love, because that just opens the door. A lot of times, I remember meeting something. They say, and then one, because it's like 10 of them. One of them, like Kass. My brother, man, put me on, bro. Like, you dope, bro. I'm like, look it, bro. So keeping that rapport and opening that part of it, I think is important. Just showing love and listening, because sometimes niggas have questions, and be. Right. And so what I always try to do as a elder statesman of hip hop is I try to listen, and then I try to direct people into looking into the past, like appreciate where this shit comes from. This shit gave us all fucking jobs. So if you own Super, if you own a little bit, if you about to get on, whatever you doing, whether you in the fashion, if you in the graffiti, if you in the business side, managing, if you rapping, if you producing, whatever you doing, bro, this shit, nigga, this shit was made by some brothers that gave us all a shot, bro, changed our lives. And to turn our back on one is foul. And the only example I always try to give them is, so if it's just about you, you saying like with that kind of attitude, you saying like, well, fuck your mama, fuck your daddy, fuck your grandparents. You don't care about nobody, just you, huh? Like fuck
Right.
them all. Like what? How'd you get your last name, my nigga? You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? Like
Right. Right.
taking that approach is like turning your back on this thing of ours that gave us all these jobs. It's pretty rude to just say I don't care about the past because all those people did a sacrifice for you to be here. So apply it the same way you would apply some kind of reverence for your mama and your grandmama. Try to apply it there. So that's what I try to throw out. And sometimes the young boys have some ridiculous shit to say. Sometimes they be on some hustle shit, talking some good shit because this is their era. Like they know how to work. Like they know how to work this system because this is the system that they kind of created. Except
and they were born into it,
right? But a lot of them lost their shit, nigga, because nigga when the end of the world happened and well they couldn't do some of the things they were used to doing, like going out turning up. So that music wasn't applicable for a minute. It's like, what do I do now? Like, nigga, life is real, nigga. That's what you do now. You figure out that life you can't turn up all the time. When you're stuck in your house by yourself, nigga, what are you gonna do? Be up there? I mean, like, nigga, life is real. I think it's just putting some love in the universe. I'm always about supporting everybody. I don't co-sign bullshit, and I also go, I go where the love is at. And the truth of the matter is in the pockets where the culture is still supported, I'm always there and trying to, plant those seeds. But I'm not trying to convince some of these people that real hip hop is viable. I'm not trying to. I just feel like that's a waste of my energy. That's for somebody else to do.
But I think you're right about that. I think you're right about that because how really do you explain purpose? I mean, that's something that you have to kind of find for yourself, and you have to be the example of purpose. Like I can only tell you how dope purpose is, because when I found hip hop, I felt like that was purpose for me, and
right.
I can only show someone how much it means to me, but telling someone, to your point, is a very difficult thing to do because what's purposeful for you may be complete fear for someone else. You mean I gotta lose all this? You mean I can't do this?
I mean, sometimes it's really awesome. I mean, watching, I've watched certain artists, I won't even name them, but I watched some artists start out. I do not expect, I always use him as an example. I'll use him now. Jeezy.
Jeezy.
I'm a big fan of Jeezy. I didn't expect Jeezy to tell me anything much more. He's trapped. Snowman. I'm a fan. I didn't expect Jeezy to tell me much more than that. But I watched him grow through his shit and start talking about listening like bars are important and rap. No, saying something is important and life is important. Some people grow, man. I'm always a big fan of watching a young brother that's passionate about what they do grow and see the culture closer through the prism that I see it as.
And damn, bro, you landed on the money because I didn't like Jay-Z when he came out because I felt like he was part of the problem. But to your point, people grow. And he was able to be in it long enough to where he dropped not only stuff that as a hip hopper I could appreciate, but stuff that I didn't even think he had in him to do. And he's done it. The 4 album.
Right.
Just coming at people with a different outlook. And to your point about growth, if you live long enough, you can grow, right?
If you, as long as, and you got to be in the now. If you can make it to the next now, there's a chance to grow.
There's a chance to grow, man. When you look out at the industry right now, And I'm glad my brother brought up Raz Kass. I'm not clearing shit, and I love that. Can you talk about this new project and what you see as a contrast for the stuff that you're putting out right now? And do you have hope? Do you see 2021 being a catalyst since we all just went through some crazy stuff with COVID and being shut down? And do you see there being an opportunity for music to grow finally?
Uh, I try to not put time parameters on shit.
Right.
But because people are always saying that, that's up to the individual. I feel like as soon as everybody's been cooped up, I think it's gonna turn into full party. Motherfuckers gonna party down as soon as they let niggas, like letting niggas out of jail. As soon as they, so my logic, honestly, truth be told, is I'm a realist, bro.
Right.
Niggas
Talk your shit, Raz. Talk your shit.
already flocking to Florida already, nigga. You know what I mean? Niggas going COVID parties is out. Niggas are gonna get the COVID, and then they gonna lock niggas up again. It's all fucked up. That's what I see. So, and I'll be there to make songs for you when you like life is real. That and I'll make some fun songs. I always made fun shit. I made marinating and what I'm saying, and drama. On my first album, I've always had fun songs too. So, because I'm about my balance.
Right.
I don't know. I've never talk. I try not to philosophize about when everybody else is gonna get there. I know where I'm at,
Right.
and I'm gonna go make music that I enjoy. Period. Whether it's lighthearted and funny, whether it's some battle MC shit, strictly bars for other MCs, whether it's socio-political, whether it's some fun club shit, because all of those are me. You know what I'm saying? Or whether it's some street shit, whatever. So I think I've covered that gamut. I'm gonna be true to myself, and if you can fuck with one part of it, then that's good, man. That's cool. That's what I want people to be able to, see the duality of man, to and maybe see themselves in some of my scenarios or whatever part that is. I'm not gonna be a one trick pony. I'm not the political Black Panther man. That's just not who I am. I'm trying to keep it real with myself. I'm not the gangster rap, been to prison or killer man. There's some part of that is applies or whatever. I'm just trying to be true to myself, and so I'll make music and I'll go to the places that support that. That's my and I'll leave the rest up to the people with until my platform gets bigger. I wish I was given the platform that other artists, people that I know or knew have had. I feel like I got better things to tell people, and I'd love to have the resources that some of them have had. I feel like we can make some amazing records, and just I'm trying to make classics. I feel like some people get all those resources and all they do is make fucking Vanity Fest themselves, and they're not that cool. You know what I'm saying? So I'd love to have those resources and say, hey, I can get fucking fucking whoever the fuck. I don't know, whoever. Bruce Springsteen. I'm gonna have Bruce Springsteen sing this hook. DJ Premier's making the beat, and I'm gonna have motherfucking Cher bar up, nigga. She gonna do the ad libs on this part, and then Nas is gonna do this part, nigga. He gonna do the first verse. I'm second verse, and then we gonna have Jada Kiss on the. Yeah, if I had the resources, I'd fucking do amazing shit. My mashups would be ill, and it wouldn't be just on a groupie name shit. It'd be on some it would make sense for the record. So I just but I'll do the best I can with what I have for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's.
What are some of your favorite collaborations that you, Raz Kass, never thought in a million years you would be a part of?
I don't have every single one, man. To be perfectly, this is unique. It's been an experience. I appreciate it, and You know.
I mean, you've done some epic stuff with Premiere. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you've really kind of showed your kind of range in working with so many people. But I mean, there has to be something that you're like, wow, I didn't think I was gonna work with that person. And I did. Who is
No,
that person?
I mean, there's nobody, man. I mean, I don't know who, you know, because of how, especially nowadays, how political features are. Honestly, I'm always
Yeah,
surprised when I ask people to do something, you know, and they get it done. I call it boredom. I'm just grateful when they say, you know what, believe in you, bro. Thank you know what I'm saying. You know, honestly, I'm just, you know, I'm not in a major label, so the politics for me, they're gone. All I don't know whatever. I don't know Pablo, so I ain't lying to you like I sell a whole fucking all kind of kilos. So I ain't got all kind of fucking money. I'm not paying no nigga no money for no verb. So you know, when I ask and even with producers, you know, period, man, I'm always humbled. Everlast, to Justice League, to Dr. Dre, the motherfucking like, you know, Pete Rock, you know, whoever, every MC I ever rhymed with, man, like for them to you know, my peers, you know, for them to, you know, shit. I rapped with Kendrick. I did a song with Kendrick, but you know, I did him a favor. He was on. You know what I'm saying? Fuck, I worked with Eminem. I worked with in the studio. You know, worked with Jay. And those are my peers. End of the day, they may not. You know, they may have superseded me with popularity and money. I don't think they're better than me on the mic, so I don't give a fuck.
talk your shit, Red. Let's go. Let's
I mean, that's
go.
fact. Anybody that you know, this is at the end of the day, this is a single man sport. So if any nigga that go into a boxing ring to come in second place is stupid as fuck. I didn't sign up to be in second place. I don't think I'm second to no nigga, not on no mic. And I think for part that's an arguable thing. Period. I just think
Man,
bodies of work, bars. I don't give a fuck who you are. I mean, but I'm a big fan of everybody, super fan of
right.
everybody. But I didn't come here to be second. Period. I'm not worried about no nigga just because he got more money or more Bentleys than me. This ain't called who got the most Bentleys. This ain't called who dating the hottest chick, nigga. This shit called rap. I feel like I rap better, nigga. Period. I don't give a fuck. I feel like you can add my shit up and read the raps.
Right.
And so that's all, you know, it's strictly for the skill set, then you know, that's what I'm about, and I enjoy working. Period. Like him, if you want to, you know, shit, hit me up in the DM and shit. Let's discuss, bro.
You hear that? You hear that, Strange Nation? You hear that,
Yeah,
brother? The
but
man said, "Link up, holla."
yeah, just hit me in the DM
Um.
on Instagram. But I do gotta bust a move soon, bro. I'm here
Okay.
to
Yeah.
let me crazy in the stew.
I do want to ask you one last question. What if you had anything to say to the young generation or anybody out here right now, considering what you guys went through in California with all this COVID stuff? There's been a lot of loss of life. There's been a lot of reorganization of what people's lives thought they were going to be. If you could tell anybody, hey, as we approach this new chapter in our lives all together at the same time, what would that be and why?
I feel like COVID-19 was an opportunity, honestly, to get to know yourself. And if you took this time uh, to get to know yourself and you realized you didn't like yourself, it's a great time to fix it. And I'm not trying to be funny. Um, like, you know,
Right,
I think that some people they get a psychiatrist and because they have money, and some
right,
people who don't have money, they have another psychiatrist for you. It's called prison. And
right,
so
right,
just
right,
sit and think, because that's what you do. You ain't got nothing but time to think. And
right,
so people on the outs have a lot of time to distract themselves. And I think that shit ran out. And I watched like a lot of relationships, friendships, but especially like relationships, like chick, male and female shit break up because niggas was around each other and they didn't like themselves, and then they realized they didn't like the partner too. So the shit was whatever. So I felt like if you didn't use that time to get to know who you were and figure out if you were content and like yourself, you did yourself a disservice. Also, it was a great time to learn something else. You know, I've been trying to learn a few other things. Like one of my friends learned how to play guitar. I was kind of heated. I was mad. Like, yo, that's fucking. But I failed at all those anyway. I was never good at instruments. I bought a digital audio workstation, so I'm working on, you know, because I used to produce, and I produced a lot of songs on solo nights. I just didn't like take credit back then.
Right.
So I wanted to get back to producing. You know, take the time. I feel like even now you still have time to improve yourself some way, whatever that is. Like this is a great time because you're not missing out on nothing. Usually people were like FOMO, like shit is popping and I can't be there, but it ain't nothing popping. Like honestly, it won't be a lot popping at least for another month. So it's never too late. You got right now to do something. Do something you've been wanting to do. It would be my advice.
Man, Orlando, did you hear what he just said, man? Florida, did you just hear what he said? Use the time to get to know who you are and reinvent yourself. You know, learn something that you didn't think you would know. I have to say that with God joint is everything, man. That joint is so hard.
Exhibit and Brevi,
man, that beat, that hook, those singers.
That's
man,
just one person.
bro.
That singer is one person.
That's crazy, man. It sounded like a legion of people.
She's little Brevi's a monster, bro, in a positive way. She's just the angel, like a voice of. She's awesome. So shouts out that. Thanks to Exhibit, you know, for reaching out. I was happy to be with him when he was going to record the record, and he thought it'd be cool to surprise Locksmith by also jumping on the record. You know, we're both
God.
So it's a positive.
MCs, dude, you guys murdered. Like there was no, after y'all three, there was no way there could ever be a remix of that. Like there's no way anyone could come in that. Like you guys were just and like you said, her singing, I mean, it was just such a, in my mind, as soon as I got that record, dude, I was rocking that on the radio, just nonstop.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's like, man, dude, like we need that. It was Dr. Dre-ish in that production too.
It did have that epicness of Dre record. It did.
Right. It was that sonic to it. Like it just seemed louder and like EQ totally differently than anything I played even in that mix. But I played it at the top of the show.
Thank you, bro.
Hey man, I'm so honored that you came on tonight, man.
Happy to be here.
Hip hop. And I you know, like I said, I can speak for Orlando, brother. If you're ever in the city, bro, come on, man, come through. We show love, man, and if you, once things start clearing up a little more, man, and you're ready to perform out here, we got you, man. Come through, bro.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ron.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you. And give it up for the legendary
Much
MC.
love, man. Shouts out to Orlando.
Yes, give it up to Raz, Kass. Let's go, Orlando, man. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Salute.
Yes, sir, brother. You know how we do it up in here, man. So glad to have you guys join the show. Like I said at the top of the show, we are now in Africa. Africa is supporting what we're doing. Shouts out to that whole movement. We're in Germany. We're in Spain. We're in the UK. It's just a beautiful time to reflect, man, and be thankful, man. All of your support. Who knew that this was going to be the move? I didn't know. I'm not that smart. I'm just from a city called the ORL, and this is what we doing, man. So shouts out to everybody that was on the check-in tonight. My man, give it up for my brother. If you need printing, go see the man, 5stargraphics.com. Any kind of graphic design work, he's going to hook you up. My man, the legendary Jesse Jazz, representing the ORL. I love all you guys, man. Thank you for being on the comments tonight. Shout out to my man Strange. Shout out to my man Eric. Shout out to my man Seth One, aka Mr. Major. Shout out to my man Ray. Shout out to all the people that were on the check-in tonight, man. We appreciate y'all. We support y'all. Shout out to my man Bloom. What's good, homie? Shout out to my man Comatose, who's on the check-in tonight. Shout out to my man Peso from the Fearless Four on the check-in tonight, man. Appreciate all of you guys, man. This is what we're doing, man. Sound of Orlando show. We love all of you guys, man. And continue to support. We'll be back tomorrow night with my man, the legendary radio programmer, BET legend, Paul Porter. So, you know what we're doing, man. We're going to end this week off strong, representing our city, our story, and our motherfucking sound. Let's go.
Live on stage, the sound.
Orlando.
So, is they ready?